it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I know that at this conference that we're at, we're getting ready to have our little social here after the first day. I think was today's been our first day, so it's tough to do it on the road, man. And I had this beautiful background with the mountains. Everything was set up. Lo and behold, I didn't know that the rain and the snow and the hail and the ice and everything else was going to be rolling in. So,
Yeah, we're getting
so
some ice here too, man.
really, even in San Antonio, I think they got some bad weather going on. Yeah. What's the
What's up?
temperature
What's
like?
up with that ice you got on your neck, man? Is that diamonds? What is that?
Ice on my neck.
Is that diamonds you got on your
Oh,
neck? I can't
this? You
tell.
like that?
What is that? Is that
Got a
gold?
little.
Is that diamonds? What is that?
It's my gold. It's my gold.
24 karat?
I don't know. Don't put me on the spot like that.
Nothing
I
but the
don't know.
best right there. 24 karat gold, $25,000 necklace.
So are you telling me that it is shining? Is it living up to a little bling bling?
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was just straight gold or if there was some gems in there. You're kind of more of a gem kind of guy, you know what I mean? So I was thinking there might be some diamonds in there.
I drink fruity drinks and I like
There
my
you
my
go.
jewelry to be a little sparkly.
Well, hey, I know you got a fruity drink sitting there. Why don't you show it off?
Look, dude, it's just water with a tahine rim.
No,
That's
where's
all
your
it
other
is.
drink? I know you got a
I
drink sitting
promise.
there. Where's the one with the umbrella and the piece of pineapple and
They didn't have it here, man.
oh
They didn't
no,
have the umbrella. No, we're in Arizona, not Hawaii.
I know.
So in Arizona, this is what we have. Look, this is
Oh, the
what's on
old
the table.
cactus.
This is what's on the table here in Arizona. And then,
Was that a baby rattle?
baby, are you kidding me?
It,
You're
it,
kidding me, right?
what is you got a prickly pear cactus and a baby rattle.
Dude,
Are you trying to tell me something here?
I'm looking forward to today's show, is what I'm telling you. Yeah, man. So yeah, we're from. Can you see my message, Joe? It says hello from Tucson, Arizona.
Can I see your message?
Yeah.
Yes, I can see it. I
Ah,
don't
there we
see it
go.
on the
The
on our.
comments.
I do see it on the live chat. Yes,
Oh, okay, okay,
on
good,
the Facebook
good.
live chat or not
Yeah,
Facebook,
yeah,
YouTube live chat.
yeah, yeah. Well, good, good. I'm glad because we are live from Tucson, Arizona. It is February 23rd at 6:03. Let me ask you this, Joe. How's it sound?
You're a little low, but I can hear
Am
you
I?
clear. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then I'll try to speak it up a little bit. I'll try to speak up. So, yeah, I'm excited, man, for today's show. Let's see what we got here. It is Wednesday, February 23rd, and I'm going to be working off my phone. So, let's see here. Yep, it's 8:04, so we're good to go. Let's see here. Gang, we got a lot of action here. Hey, Mark Jackson, what's going on, brother? Let's see if I can do this. Yes, there you go. And we were wondering if we could do this from the iPad, and it turns out that I can. So that's cool. Let's see here. Mark, how's the weather over there, man? Mark, I think I have the most golf photos from Mark than anybody I've I know. The dude he's got some great courses in his area. That's really cool, man, to be able to have those kind of courses in your hometown. And there's a beautiful course here. We're at the La Paloma here in Tucson, Arizona, and it's a nice course too. So it's cool because we did an interview with Jimmy Gomez, and he's going to be highlighting a course that's in Palm Springs where the DEA Combo Kickoff is going to be taking place. So I'm excited to be able to highlight that too. So let's see here. What do we got? We got 10. All right. Got something really cool when it comes to the, let's see. Got something about some Hall of Fame rings, looking up to that. Some people asked me, Joe, about my travels. And quite a few people have asked me about where I've been, where I've been going, some pictures. So I'm going to highlight some of the areas I've been to here recently. And then if any of you guys are intending on going to any of those, man, hit me up, give you a little advice on it. Got a special boy that we hosted with Shields for Kids. His name is DJ. Got a really great story on him. Little boy with, unfortunately, he's been diagnosed with terminal cancer. But through Shields for Kids, we're able to help provide a great day for him and his family, along with the San Antonio Police Department. Got Jeff's season preview. That's going to be interesting, man. You know, Jeff's a wealth of knowledge, obviously, with the circuit. So I'm excited to hear that. Going to highlight the DEA Kickoff tournament with Jimmy Gomez, and then a player spotlight. It's going to have to do with our team that comes down and supports our tournament over here. They also go to St. Louis, don't they?
They have not yet. There is talk
No?
that they may be coming to St. Louis this year. We'll see.
All right. I do know that they travel and they support tournaments in a lot of areas. So I'm excited to be able to highlight Red Garcia. Actually, Joe got to do the interview with Red. So that was really cool. Did a fantastic job. And we were able to highlight one of their players. So I'm really excited about that. Eric Rodriguez, a really cool dude from their team. And I'm really excited to be able to share that with you guys. So, Joe, you ready to get this show on the road?
Let's roll.
All right, man. Deanna, how about we give them a chance to get a quick drink, maybe pop some popcorn, do a little countdown, and then let's get this show on the road. Partner in crime, Joe, joining me again. We got another special guest. Don't forget, man, I got your 6. All right. How's it going? Am I coming out all right, Deanna? Can you give me a thumbs up if it is? All right, cool. Hey, well, thank you, everybody, for joining us again. Joe, what's today's date?
I believe it's the 23rd. I had to double check. 2/23 of 22.
Nice. Yeah, because that's right. It was 2/22/22 yesterday.
Got it.
Yeah, very cool, man. Well, hey, I'm going to be calling on you more, Joe. Stay awake. I'm going to keep you on your game today. So yeah, man. Hey, obviously, you guys know, I'm pretty sure who I am. Trinidad. I'll throw up my stuff up there. I'm Audrey's husband, United States Air Force veteran, 23-year law enforcement veteran, 2-time cancer survivor, franchise business owner of a company called Biotex. It's a crime and trauma scene cleaning company. We are franchised in Austin, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, and based out of San Antonio. And I'm a nonprofit founder of an organization called Shields for Kids, which I'm extremely excited about highlighting. We've got some really cool stuff on today's show that's going to show you about what it is that we do with Shields for Kids. A bunch of officers that go out and provide for these kids in the community that are in need. So very happy to highlight that. My partner, Joe Monahan, has joined me again today. Thank you so much for joining me again, Joe.
It's I enjoy the show, enjoy working with you, and it's always a good time.
Good. Well, Joe, check this out. I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Joe Monahan, coach of Missouri Lawmen. I host the Show Me Classic, which this year is going to be August 5th and 6th in St. Louis at BMAC. It's a great facility. It's a great time. We always have a good showing of teams and a lot of competition, a lot of good prizes for the winners of the divisions. I've also coached the Louisville Slugger Masters Division team, which is always a great time, great group of guys. East Conference Manager of the Year, which I'm proud of, receiving that honor. And one thing that's not listed on there is the what was that? The Texas Showdown Home Run Derby champion.
Oh yes, that is going to be. Well, we had to go to a new page to be able to have all your accolades on there. So we're definitely going to get to it. Hey, real quickly, Deanna, somebody is asking if the Facebook feed is working. It's not working? Let me see if she said.
I saw that comment and I don't see any comments from Facebook. So we are linked to Facebook. I see it on the broadcast. I just don't know why they're not coming through. But no, it doesn't.
Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit go live because I just went to Facebook, and let's see if it goes live now. It says you are live. So now let's see whoever it is that commented for us. Let's see who said, JB, the Swami 44 is asking if the Facebook feed is working. So JB, let me know if it is, please. I'd appreciate that. And Deanna, we'll check that out. It didn't go automatically. Jeff. So, hey, there you go. Stu. All right, Stu. Stu says it's up now. So awesome.
Good.
Good. Yeah, man. So Joe, we are going to, Deanna, please make a note that Joe's Texas Showdown Home Run Derby champion needs to be added on there. And then we'll add whatever else he wants to boast about himself. We'll do that later.
One issue I have with that is that I actually give up more home runs than I hit in games, which is disappointing to me. But I only get about 4 or 5 at bats a game, so. But still, I'm giving up 6 to 8 home runs a game. That's
hey man, the way you've
unacceptable, and that is why I picked up another pitcher this year for the squad, and hopefully he does a better job than me.
Dude, you've been hitting really, really well. I'm extremely impressed with you. So you should be seeing more at bats.
I'll talk to the manager about it.
Nice. What's going on, Adam and Katie? Appreciate you guys tuning in. Adam, Katie, awesome people, and Adam is a big softball player, civilian ball player, and happy to have him on there. Mark Jackson says it's a little warm here in California, Central Valley for mid-late February. I know the connection is looking forward to that Tampa Bay Beach weather this weekend. All right. I wonder what
a lot of people don't know this because I doubt Mark shared this publicly, but I talked to Mark prior to this show, and he's predicting SenCal going undefeated in Tampa in the first East Coast tournament of 2022.
Ooh, nice. All right. Very nice, Mark. I like the confidence. Hey, Stu, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Thanks for joining us again. Let's see here. Genevieve Trinidad. Don't you like that last name? What's going on, Genevieve? Thank you for joining us again. JB joining us, got the Facebook warning, and now we are in, so I'm perfect. Yes, baby, I will. Let's see. Carlo Ugalde says, they say Red Garcia is the Bill Belichick of police softball. Nice. Let's see. D. Ward. A little change up with the intro. Very cool. D. Ward, I'm going to get you on those highlights, man. Even if you come hurt to a tournament, I'm going to get D. Ward on there. Let's see. Hey, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to more of these. What do you got, Joe?
Now I was going to say D. Ward's daughter's been lighting it up in her basketball league, man. She hit a couple game winners the last couple weeks. They won 22-20 from what I saw, and I believe I think she goes by Charlie Brown. If I'm not mistaken, but she's been killing it out there on the court, and we're keeping an eye on her because she may be a future Michigan State Spartan. We'll see.
All right, man. Very cool. Yeah, very cool. I'm excited. D Ward, maybe you can send us a picture, man. We can follow up on that. That'd be really neat. Oh yeah, there you go. D Ward says yes, she has. Very cool. Miami's finest. Look at this, Joe. Have you seen this one before on our podcast? I don't think Miami's finest has been on here. It says, looking forward to the talent at the upcoming tournament in Tampa. Miami 5-0 looking solid. Good luck to all you guys.
I have not seen Miami's finest on the show before.
All right.
Glad they joined us, though.
Oh, yeah. Hey, got Jeff Blair with the connection equals East-cutioners. Nice one. I like that. Going to be interesting. Tyrone, what's up, Tyrone? How's it going, brother? Hey, I'll tell you what we're going to do is I'm going to get to more of these people, but I'm excited you guys are tuning in. I'm really happy that you're here. Hey, so what we're going to do is we are going to jump straight into this. We've got a lot of great things. We've got, you know, a little highlight on some rings that were ordered here recently. I think it was really cool. People asked me about my vacations and people asked me about where I'm headed and what I'm doing next. And people said they'd like to see some pictures. Cool. I'm going to show a few pictures of that. Special boy named DJ. We were fortunate here in San Antonio to host DJ and his family. DJ is a little boy that was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And it was just our honor as Shields for Kids, which is what you guys support when you come to our raffle here at the in Waxahachie for our Keepers of the Peace tournament. So great deal with DJ. And then we got Jeff's season preview. And, you know, I mean, dudes, you know that nobody knows the circuit like he does. So I'm excited to hear.
When the Swami talks, the masses listen.
Yeah,
the guy knows the shit. Yeah,
no joke. And then we've got the Jimmy Gomez for the DEA Kickoff. Excited about that interview. I always enjoy talking to Jimmy. We did the player spotlight this year this episode on one of the Miami 5-0 guys that I really enjoy also talking to. And we were able to get a coach on. So that's what we're going to be doing now. After the last show, Joe, we had great feedback on the player spotlight. And now what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate the coach of the team of the player that we're going to be spotlighting. So that way the coach can come on, give us a little history on the team, a little background, and then ultimately run right into their player spotlight that they asked for us to spotlight. So I'm really excited for that. Deanna, if you'll hit me up with the comments a little bit, because I'm gonna have to use my phone at this time. So hey man, Joe, got a little something for you. Let's see if you know this one, Joe. Oh, by the way, coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona at the La Paloma Resort. We're very happy to be here with Biotechs. We're here at a conference which the American Biorecovery Association is at. It's something that we do that continuously improves on the processes and procedures, staying on top of our game when it comes to what we do with the crime and trauma scene cleaning industry. So that's where we're at in the expo hall. And just in case you're wondering, I'm always on the road, man. So, hey, check this out, Joe. Tell me, guys, who remembers this? This is something that I found on the internet I thought was really neat. You know anything about that, Joe?
No, tell me about it, bub.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? I want to know who comes up with the first comment on this. Dude, this was a show that I loved when I was young, man. I'll give you a hint, Joe. Warriors come out to play. You know anything about that?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I mean, I'm not familiar with it. Of course, I've heard that.
Stu Donaldson knows. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, you watch the consistency here. It's going to be the guys with a little age on them that are going to be the ones answering up, man. Look at this. Benjamin, Warriors come out and play. Tyrone says the Warriors. Hey, dude, you got to check this out, man. It's really cool. This is February 9th. Got you, Deanna. February 9th, 1979 is when this thing came out, man. A really cool show. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but basically it's a bunch of dudes that were in this gang that went to this gang convention. Ultimately, the shooting takes place. They get set up as the fall guys, and they got to fight their way out of, I think it was New York, if I'm not mistaken. But, man, it was a great show, and that was so cool that 43 years later they show the current dudes, man, and that they're all alive. That's pretty good, too. That's not too bad either. So, anyway, that was pretty cool. Look at this.
A big influence for Trini's life and the direction that it went.
Hey, man, I've had to fight my way out of some situations, so, yeah, I'm all right with that. Hey, man, so, you know, I know that this one's going to hit home for a lot of us. And more importantly, for those, of course, that were involved in the circuit, man. We've got one of the co-founders of the police softball circuit. And, you know, we talk about the World Series, which is our premier event for our law enforcement softball family. We've got the 4-year anniversary that just passed for Dell Pickney. And, you know, you check out some of these photos of Dell. And I think, like most people said, I had of course, I didn't have the experience being new to the circuit. But what I did in that short amount of time of talking to Dale, man, I could see exactly where everybody was coming from with Dale's personality. So, you know, it was a big loss. And of course, you know, for JB, that's going to be coming on later on, and Ryan and all those guys, man, you know, think about you guys whenever this date rolls around. And of course, you know, Michelle, it was something that I thought would be a really neat thing to be able to at least show on the podcast. And so it's not everybody gets to tune in with social media. Not everybody's on the message board. So I thought it was something that was important to highlight right now. Let's see here. Deanna, are you helping me with these things? Let's see here. I think that's where we're at. Deanna, I'll let Deanna handle the comments for right now as they come up. Hey, Joe, so something that came up that was pretty cool. I want to thank somebody for this next thing that comes up. Oh, look what Jeff says. Trini, that production you put on for him in San Antonio with the Stormtroopers and cake was amazing. Thank you so much for the memories. I do appreciate that, Jeff. Who would have known? But that's a part of why we do what we do in life, man. Every day we try to make memories and try to do what we can for people. And I was happy to be a part of it, and ultimately for everybody to pitch in and to make that day happen. I'm really happy you guys made it down that year. It's very touching. So we got these rings, man, and it was so cool. We're going to throw these rings up here, Joe. I don't know if you got to see them or not.
I did get to take a look at them.
Dude, check that out, man. I want to thank Ryan Register for taking the lead on this. And if anybody else had anything to do with it, I'm not aware of it. So please forgive me if that's the case. But from what I understand, Ryan's the one that took the lead when it comes to getting these things designed and ultimately putting it out there for us. And so check this out, Joe. 24 of these rings were ordered by our Hall of Famers from the circuit. So I just think that was a really neat thing. And I got one in there. So I thought that was just really cool. So I appreciate you, Ryan. Thank you so much for making that happen, man. Let's see here. I don't know, Joe. Looks like something that might fit on those big old thick fingers of yours. Those are pretty big rings.
Well, you got to quit looking at my hands so closely, man.
Stop shoving them in my face all the time when we hang out at tournaments.
No, the rings are cool.
Hey.
Ryan and whoever was involved did a great job. And the lone Hall of Famer on our team, he's got one on the way, and I think it was a great idea, and it probably should have been going on for a while now, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Hey, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to jump right into this next part because I know we got a lot of information. Wayne Spencer Jr., thanks for joining us, brother. And he told me last year he was going to be out in Waxahachie to help any way he could. And I really appreciate that, Wayne. Deanna, make that note, please. I got to have Wayne out there. He said he's going to come out and help. That's going to be a great time. So we'll make it happen. All right. So people ask me about some of the trips that I take and all. I just want you to know I get a lot of messages on it. And I was like, all right, that's cool, man. But I didn't know that, you know, when people started saying, hey, man, give me some advice. I'm going here, going there. I said, all right, cool. Well, then might as well keep you a little updated on what I got going on. So first one I got is went to Oklahoma, Joe. And I was very fortunate to be able to visit with my grandchildren. I've got 2 now. So I was really happy to be able to go and visit in Oklahoma with my little ones. And so that was really cool. We go out to Justin Bill's neck of the woods over there in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. So it's pretty neat to be able to go out there and visit my grandchildren there in Oklahoma. Went to Chicago recently, and man, I'll tell you what, that was a pretty neat trip. That was interesting to be out there. And what's cool is that when you go up there, with all the different photos, the creativity that people come up with these areas, I think it's just really neat with this little glass bottom.
What building is that you got that picture taken?
What building is that? It's the what? The Sky Deck, but where at? I think it's the Sears Tower. Sears Tower or Willis Tower? I'm not sure.
It used to be the Sears Tower and something else now.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So yeah, man, that was really cool. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, I got to make a trip out. Joe, I got to make a trip out to Notre Dame. So if you check this picture out, got to go out to a football game there in Notre Dame. A lot of
Very
history.
nice.
You know, my nephew goes out in school there. He made the dean's list there in Notre Dame, man. I was just very, very
Awesome.
proud of him. Yeah, man. Big shout out to Jesse out there. And if you see my little girl there on the far right, that's a tradition. After every touchdown, they push the people up. So all over the stadium, man, you see these people being pushed. They do like the push-ups, I guess, of the kids for every score. It's pretty neat, man. Uh, let's see what we got. My buddy from our team, Jonathan Reyes, got married. But check it out, Joe. This is pretty neat. Check out that castle that they got married in, man.
Wow.
And you see that big head there that's comparable to size to yours there in the middle?
I'm guessing you're talking about Mo.
Yes.
I didn't know which picture you
Yes.
were talking about. You know, I don't know if you're talking about the one on the right and you're saying your wife's head was the same size as mine. I didn't think that was appropriate, so I went with Mo.
Yeah, that's right. So congratulations.
Is that Cody in the background on the left?
That is Cody Wayne in the background. Yep.
Good
Yeah,
to
that
see
was a really
everybody.
good time, man. Yeah, man, that was a great time. Went to UTSA game. You guys know my son Trip is over as a sports equipment team manager out there at UTSA. They had a wonderful year this last year, and it was a joy to go out to the UTSA games and check out the Roadrunners make history this year. They won their conference, I think it was. It was their conference that they won. So I was really proud of the UTSA Roadrunners. Went to Cancun over in Mexico here recently, and that was a great time. It's a great resort, and I highly suggest it for everyone who might want to go. Nizuc, it's Nizuc. Pretty neat restaurant over there, along with Banyan Tree. We just went to Banyan Tree not too long ago. Those are two great resorts. Let me know if you decide you want to go out there, give you some advice. Went to Disney World here just, I don't know, maybe last month or something like that. Yeah, like last month, went to Disney, was able to go on the 50th anniversary. So the castle's been painted, and it's a really neat color out there for this year. It's 50th, right, honey? See, I got my fact checker over here next to me. So that was really neat. And then right after that, we were able to go on a Disney cruise. And that was a lot of fun too. And a lot of people may not know this, but on Disney, the cruises are really cool, man. It's not just kid oriented. The adults have a great time on those cruises also. So I'm a big fan of the Disney cruises. You know, you ever want to go on one, give me a call, man. I'll give you some advice. We've learned some things in the last few trips on some Disney cruises. We also had our Shields for Kids golf tournament, Joe. I know you put on a golf tournament. We had a Shields for Kids golf tournament. It was a great time. We had Special Olympics kids come out, sing the national anthem, and had a great raffle. And again, it all supports our Shields for Kids. Going into Shields for Kids, we had our Signing Santa event this year, one of our most impactful events. And if you take a look to the left, you'll see him signing. Up top, you'll see the officers that are always involved with the gives when it comes to our events with Shields for Kids. And on the bottom right, you got the Thin Blue Line Motorcycle Club with my buddy Dennis Casillas, who's heading that Thin Blue Line Motorcycle Club out there that came out, and they were the reindeers with Santa in the back of a truck. So those are really cool events that we put on. I'm very proud of our organization. And so that's a little bit of what I've been up to, man. A lot of traveling, a lot of cool events. So there you have
Just
it.
another day in the life of Trini, a.k.a. El Chapo.
Pretty good, Joe. I like it. All right. Well, hey, on that note, like I mentioned before, there's a little boy named DJ. And DJ has been unfortunately diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, and he also has cancer in his spine. His dream, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you a few of these pictures, and then I'm going to roll a video that'll explain exactly how impactful our organization is to the children in our community. So first, we're going to show these pictures. This is a little DJ there. You'll see him in his uniform. We picked him up in our Shields for Kids truck. For those that haven't seen it at the tournament, it's an F650. It's a really cool truck. Went and picked him and his siblings up, took him to SeaWorld. Took him to the Tower of Americas, took him to the Alamo, had a police escort, priority parking. It was just a great day for him and his family, and for me especially, to be able to host them. You'll see DJ in a uniform there that he was given because his dream was to be like honorary police officer and to get sworn in with all these different departments. I think he had 100 in mind when he started, and he surpassed it, Joe. It was so cool. Check out these next photos. So this was, again, at SeaWorld and then in one of the aquariums. But check this out, man. Let's see. Deanna, we got one more? Or is that it? Yeah, there we go. That's DJ there. You see us there at SeaWorld and all our different events. But check out this video, man. And it's super cool. Well, you'll see this uniform. That was on a Sunday. On Monday, he was sworn in, and he was able to get a new uniform and some special gifts. So check this video out. How cool is that, man?
That's pretty awesome, man.
Man, I'll tell you what, the departments, all these different departments came through, man, and it was awesome to be able to be there and to see that take place and the joy that he has, man. He's a kid beyond his years, and it was our pleasure to be able to host him. Very impactful. And man, Joe, check this out. When he was presented with his uniform, I was able to be there. We were having dinner, and we had some fun. This kid is freaking awesome. So check this out.
Oh no. Oh.
License and registration, please. I can't. Excuse me, I'm Officer Trooper Daniel, DJ Daniel / that. License and registration, please. I'm gonna let you off with a warning.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
That was a good one.
That was good.
He let me off with a warning, man. It was awesome.
You're lucky, man. You're lucky.
None of that was scripted. That's what we were able to enjoy this whole day. You know, the thought was that we were going to provide him with such a wonderful day, but he provided us with even a more awesome experience. So what a wonderful thing to be able to do. Thank you guys for all your support when it comes to Shields for Kids and what you help us do at our Keepers of the Peace tournament by supporting us in our raffle to continue to give these gifts to these children and to show the community how much we care about them through our efforts. So thank you guys very much for that. Hey, well, I'll tell you what, we are going to go on to Jeff's season preview. I'm excited about this, man. I appreciate that, Mark. Thank you, brother. We're going to go on to this, to Jeff's season preview, and I'm excited about this. I mean, I know we talked about it last episode, but we couldn't get Jeff's videos up there in time. It's coming now. I can't wait to sit back and check it out. And if you guys don't know, Jeff said Ryan Register is the man. He did a ton of legwork for the Hall of Fame rings. All PS.com approved. Thanks, Ryan. It's not just us. It's all of us. 100%. Appreciate it, man. Andrea says he wants to go on that Disney cruise, that it's amazing. He wants to go with his kids, though. And I'm telling you, it's a great time, both with, without. It's a wonderful time. So and get with me, man. All right, Jeff, we're going to roll. Joe, before we get going? You good?
I'm good. Let's do it.
Let's get this show on the road. Jeff's season preview. Let's start the first video.
Hey guys, Swami here. I am busy on my couch with my computer going over the 2022 season preview. I'll post that on the message board in the next couple days, but I promised Trini I'd let you guys get a little, we'll call it a little sneak preview into what to expect for the 2022 season and then the direction my article is going. So to begin with, I will touch upon the LAPD Blue, the defending world champions. Bad news for everybody else is I think they're going to be better than ever this year. I'm looking at all these civilian USSSA conference players they picked up, guys that we didn't even know about. Danny Higa, and obviously Eric Matos. These guys are playing year-round against the top competition. I was saying, saw on social media that a group of them just went to Florida and played in like the B War, some kind of big B tournament there. And they're literally playing against professional athletes. And they're bringing along with them guys like Buddy Lundy and guys who are just exclusively cop ball players. These guys played with Terry Dugan's team in the Toys for Tots tournament in Palm Springs against, the Brett Helmers and all these guys of the world. That was the one knock on the LA Blue before, is they had these really talented players that weren't playing other than, they'd show up a couple times a year and then for the World Series and rely on talent. Well, this current roster these guys have, these guys play all the time. They're really, really good. They're going to be tough to beat. That said, they love their civilian ball. And a lot of those guys, in my opinion, view civilian ball as being more important than the police softball. So we're going to see probably them running short a lot of times this year at tournaments. And then the big conflict, apparently the USSSA B Worlds or whatever is the same weekend as the World Series. So they're going to have to make a decision. So, as to what their priority is. I do know that I think eventually they'll figure it out and eventually they'll end up playing cop softball. And I saw this play out firsthand. Ryan Coe, my friend and partner in police softball, he was a big civilian ball player. He won the B Worlds 10 or 11 years ago with a team named Bud Light, went to Florida, won the B Worlds. If you talk to him today, that was no big deal. He doesn't even know half the guys on the team. He couldn't name them. But on his mantle at home, he's got all his police obelisk trophies, and he'll tell you who was at playing each position each time the Alliance won a tournament. So at the time, it was a big deal that he won the B Worlds. But in hindsight, he ended up valuing police softball over civilian ball. And I think you'll see that happen with these LA Blue guys. I'm just not sure if it's going to happen this year. So, obviously the team that we love the connection. Everything about these guys, they call them the excellence of execution. They're just really solid. They have everything you need in a championship team. They got good leadership. They've got team chemistry. I mean, they're willing to cut guys that are really talented if they don't blend in with the team. And most teams will not do that, and they will. And it works. Their recipe works. I just, come the World Series time, they still have got to get over that LAPD Blue hump. I thought they were going to win it all this year. I mean, they throttled LAPD Blue in the undefeated game, and after they lost the championship game, you could see the momentum change. It was tangible. You could feel it. They got to get over that hump. The New York Hounds. Let's jump to the East. I mean, who doesn't love these guys, right? So these guys, they are the epitome of police softball. They're exactly what you want in a police softball team. They're competitive. They have a great leader. They travel all over the nation every year, supporting different tournaments. Jimmy will bring his team to a tournament, even if he's missing 5 starters. He'll put a team, Jimmy will be the starting shortstop if he has to, just to support these tournaments. As a result, sometimes they won't finish as high as they normally would have, right? I mean, if they're going to have their whole team, they're going to be first or second or third. You know, every once in a while they'll drop a 5th place finish in there, and it's likely because they were missing like 8 guys, right? But when they have all their guys, they showed us exactly what they could do in Vegas. There's no reason why these guys can't win a world title this year. I saw them play the best softball game I've ever seen a team play years ago, and I forget, I think it was Battleborn. Same guys, a lot of the same guys. They're even better now. They just need to, you know, put those games together as they get toward the end of a tournament. I'm going to touch upon in my article that I don't like these guys staying in the winner's bracket. A perfect scenario for these guys is to get to that game where the winner goes to the winner's bracket captain seat game, and they lose it. And then they go into the loser's bracket, and if you count it out, they got to win 5 in a row. That's perfect for these guys. They just tend to roll like that. I like seeing those guys. I don't want to see them have to go through the loser's bracket like too early, but if they can get it to where they stay in the winner's bracket and then maybe lose, you know, right toward the end and get hot, that's what they need. I don't like them sitting around. A team that probably the most consistent team in the last decade, Max Elite. God, a good argument for them to be the number 1 team in the East this past year. Everything that we, you know, kind of thought about them, like getting long in the tooth and getting old and this and that. I mean, they went and addressed it. They got some really young, like talented studs on the team. They're mixing with the veterans. You know, every year you can count on those guys to win 2, 3, 4 championships. I do think for them to win the World Series, they probably need a little more depth. They're just going to have a deeper bench, I think, because, I mean, guys like Irvin and, you know, they're not kids anymore, so it would be nice to have some young legs on the bench. But the veterans are still producing, so this could be their year. I just like to see them come out with more depth. Minnesota Llama, not a whole lot to talk about other than, I mean, this could be Bobby Lambert's last year. That guy is basically, he could be the poster boy of police softball. He's been around here since day one. Best player every year. You know, he's always in the conversation. One of the best players to ever play police softball. One of the best representatives of the game. You know, Hall of Famer. Everything you want. And you know that team. I mean, they're young and they're good. And I knew it come the World Series, they were going to be really good. They peaked in, was it Texas, I believe. They won that one. But whatever the case, I think they might be playing some inspired ball this year to send Bobby home with a few championships. So look out for those guys. Now, Great Lakes is a team that I don't want to say they missed their window, but they're, 2020 and 2021, early 2021, they were the team. This was their chance to win it all. Everything was going well for these guys. They did not peak at the right time. So what they got cold at the end of the season in Texas, they got, they still play well, but for them, they don't get pushed around. I think it was Minnesota pushed them around. And you just don't see that happening to a Great Lakes team. They didn't have a great World Series. Zintax in his mid-40s. Wax has got to be close to 50. Biscuit's in his mid-40s. They're just, I think they realize that now's their shot. What's going to help them is they added a kid, Steve Perkola's kid. I think his name's Travis. Super talented baseball player. He's already learned the game of softball. They'll plug him in the outfield. He's going to make an immediate impact. The next guy that they added was Kevin Harrington, a guy from Detroit. That guy was lights out playing for that free agent team. He was every bit as, he did exactly what he needed to do. He needed to go out there and get on the spotlight and show he could compete against these better teams. And man, I tell you, he's going to really lock down that infield. So for Great Lakes, I expect another good year. They can do it, but their shot clock is getting a little bit shorter because the veterans are getting a bit older. Mid-Atlantic, Terry's team. These guys, I don't know how Terry does it, but he continually finds these studs from his region that have never played cop softball before, and all of a sudden they show up and they're just phenomenal. He lost, Corey Rogerson, best player in the game in 2017, best player. There was no doubt. He was the best player of the game. He won the home run derby, he won the MVP, he won the player of the year. The guy didn't make it out in the championship game. They lose that guy, and it's almost like they didn't necessarily miss a beat. So even though we haven't heard much from Terry, you know, you can pencil those guys in for a couple tournament wins this year and a good run of the World Series. The team that is the most like interesting to follow is the State 48, this Arizona team. They got good this year. You know, this past year they got really good. I saw them in San Diego, and man, I tell you, I mean, they beat the Hounds twice. I mean, they had LA Blue on the ropes. They were almost the champions of the West Conference, and they got better. So it sounds like they picked up a bunch of civilian experienced players. I'm not sure what's going on with the pitcher Brennan. He was a DEA guy, but he started with Arizona. He might go back. I'm not sure if that would even help him a whole lot because they got this guy named EJ Noriega. The guy's really good. So I saw him in the West Conference, and what makes him really good is that like he's the guy that wants the ball in his hand. He was pitching. He's got to get better. He can't walk as many people as he walks, but he's the guy that like when the game's on the line, he wants the ball, kind of like the Kobe Bryant of the team. And he wasn't even in Vegas. So if they get him and these other civilian guys and they play a full season, I've got a lot of I would put a lot of stock into these guys. I would buy their shares of stock if they were selling stock. Back east again, Kentucky Blue. So these guys were mad that they earned a berth into the majors division because I think they went 1-1-1 or something like that in the round robin or something like that. And I think they wanted to play mid-majors until they got to the majors and started playing really well. And even though they were shorthanded, they were sending home some really good teams, and they realized they were exactly where they should be, and they enjoyed it, and they built upon it. And now some of the guys, key players like Mark Sperry, coming back. You know, imagine if they'd had him in Vegas, right? And then they added this Brian Dawson from Ohio, who's a difference maker. We just see these guys. I mean, the bottom line is everybody got a little bit better, so it's good they got better. But they got a pretty good team, and they didn't make any panic moves in this offseason. Like when Ohio broke up, they didn't snatch every guy up. They liked what they had with their lineup. But I tell you what, you got to watch out for Louisville, because Louisville did pick up all those Indiana guys, really good players. Dusty Bowling, right? Butch Castor, Bobby McGee. One thing they got is let me see who else they got here. Travis Morgan, the former East Coast Defensive Player of the Year from Chicago. Then throw in their pitcher Josh Ullery, and then from Ohio. So now they got like some veteran pitcher and like some talented guys. And the team's going to be built around this kid, Devin Luckett. If you don't know his name, he's a top 10, top 5 player in the game. He was on Terry's all-star team that went out to California. Boy, that team's going to be really good. So they're not going to be in the gold this year. Don't worry about it. Sorry, Whit, you got to go up. Maryland Outlaws is a team, like, these guys had a great World Series. I love the fact that we had them ranked in, like, the teens. And, man, we caught grief about them being overranked going into the 2021 season. You overranked the Maryland Outlaws. You overranked them. So what do? They prove us wrong, and they ended up finishing 10th. they inside the top 10. They got this new kid they picked up. I think he's a Baltimore Cup, Jordan Sanders. I did the research on him. He looks like he's a legitimate baseball player. He's a new guy, though. Is he going to be able to get off work? Is he going to learn the game of softball? And I don't know, probably. It's not that hard to learn. I learned it. I played Little League, so. Okay, another team that's gotten much better, Missouri Lawmen, right? So all Joe did was bring back his Oklahoma connection, which it's a shame he lost him for when he did, because when he lost Oklahoma, the team got significantly less competitive. Now he's got him back, but they're bringing friends. So the Oklahoma team's got a stronger group. Joe's picked up some guys from Missouri. They're stronger. I envision them having a typical Missouri season of like 4 or 5 years ago when they were like flirting in that, top 10 all year, winning some tournaments here and there. They're going to be just fine. Out west, DEA Combo. So kind of like the Great Lakes team. These guys are a little long in the tooth. They're all still playing at a very high level. But like Danny Wells, DUA, right? I mean, he's 46, 47, something like that. Jerry Boyd, their center fielder. I think he's my age. He's like 50-ish. Even like McMorrow, who used to be a young gun, he's in his 40s now. He's playing Masters. Tyson's close to 50. The one thing about, and then they picked up Chris Ulibarri, but even Uli's in his early 40s now, 42, 43, something like that. One thing about them is the reason they didn't play as well last year is they truly were injured, legitimately injured, like torn ACLs and stuff like that. The reason I bring up the age is even though the guys like Danny Wells and like Nate Baez, right? Nate's mid-40s, right? They still are on top of their game. Maybe lost a step, maybe, but maybe better. Like, you know, they got that edge, that psychological edge, the mental edge, the wisdom. But here's where it makes a difference. A guy like outfielder like Danny Wells, you know, when he's a kid, he goes out, dives for a ball, crashes into a wall, he bounces right off. He's Superman, right? I got to tell you, I don't care how good a shape you're in. I'd like to stay in better shape now at age 53 than I was at 33. But I tell you what, I can't go run into a wall and bounce off and be just as good. So it's the impact, the slides, the diving. That stuff does take its toll as the tournament goes on. For one game, I can tolerate it, right? And I got to imagine it's the same for these guys. But, you know, all those slides, the diving, all that kind of stuff, the stiff back, I don't care how good a shape you're in. Over the course of a tournament, a long tournament, 6-7 games, you're going to start feeling it, and it will affect your game. So these guys, like I said, their window is now. So they better win this year. Here's a team that I really like, Thin Blue Line. They got everything. They got it all. But for the fact their guys kind of nut up when they in the biggest tournaments against the biggest teams. They lost some games that they should have won. And what they needed was a couple veterans in there to bring confidence and a sense of swagger to those young guys, because the young guys have swagger, but it's not directed the right way. It should be directed toward them winning the game, not them talking or whatever they're doing, whatever. It should just be a focused swagger, like, we got this. Nothing needs to be said. We're going to win this game. And they did it. They did it by picking up, Rob Menke. As I spoke about Bobby Lambert being, like on the Mount Rushmore of police softball. I mean, Menke's on the Mount Rushmore. Nate Baez, these are Mount Rushmore guys. Like, you got four faces of police softball. I just named three of them right there. So these guys are going to be super good. Out west, Sac Razorbacks. It looks like they might have picked up Justin Charles. I'm not sure if he's going to stick around or not. But one big pickup, East Executioner, Steve Rathel, high-level pitcher, loves playing against the biggest teams. These guys have young talent. He's going to be to the Razorbacks what Menke is to Thin Blue Line, as will like Jimmy Sanders, who's a former hardcore guy. These guys are just veterans that they're not gonna let this team cower down to the big teams. Stanislaus, you guys are getting bumped up to majors. You earned it. Congratulations. Back-to-back mid-major champions. Enough to be, I don't even go on about these guys. They're good, and they deserve to play majors, and they will. This new team, Bay Area Combo, don't know what to think about them. I think they're going to be pretty talented because they picked off some of the best Oakland guys and talent from the NorCal. Texas, I can't figure out what's going on in that state. Guys are leaving teams and jumping around. All I know, all this movement, all this drama, the one team that that's on top of the heap is Houston Heat. That's the team to beat from Texas. Florida's even crazier than Texas. So this, I don't know. Ryan Register started a new team up called the Hitmen, the East Coast Hitmen. That team never got off the ground. So now he's on the Gulf Coast Enforcers. Whatever the case, the two top teams will be North Florida and Miami Dogs. Both of them are really good. Both of them will be, we know North Florida's in the majors. Dogs are going to be mid-majors, mid-majors. Out west, two new teams, Cali Classic Sports, CA Classic Sports. They're going to be really good. So they're going to be a heavyweight. So take the best Silver Stars with the best LA shot callers. And you got yourself a really, really good team there. And across the way from them, same area, the 172 combo, they picked up a few of the wayward shot callers. And they also have all the Team Galvez guys. So between the two, on face value, the Classic Sports team probably going to be a little bit more competitive because they had a Ray Stieber, a former West Coast Player of the Year, and I think get Harriman out there, Eric Harriman, another West Coast Player of the Year out there too. I mean, they're gonna be right there in the conversation with the big heavyweights out west. The 1-7-2 combo, likely not going to, I would project probably not going to be in majors this year. Definitely a mid-majors team, though. Probably one of the better mid-majors team. We just don't see them cracking that majors yet. And that's it. That's all I got right now. I'm still going through the stool pigeon. I covered the top 10 teams and then whatever teams made some announcements. The one team that I really like out west that's not a top 10 team, the West Coast Lawmen. I really like what they're doing. I saw what they did in Vegas. They made a couple pickups this offseason. They're really active. I think they've got a really good shot at being one of the best gold teams going into the 2022 season. And I think that's all I have at this time.
All right, man. Dude,
The Swami has
how's that
spoken.
for a preview? How's that for a
Jeff knows
preview?
his stuff, man.
Man, I'll tell you what. It's a lot of information, man. It's awesome, Jeff. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to make that video. Wish we could have got it on last episode. Tough to get it all chopped up to get it be able to be on this program, but ultimately we're able to get it in, man. Pretty neat stuff, and I think it's a really neat thing though, because you get somebody who has an overview of the whole circuit like that. It's like being on a ESPN kind of show. You know what I mean? That's a good overview of everything, you know. And I think only Jeff's
got the
probably the one
knowledge.
that can do it. Yeah, man. So thank you again, Jeff, for that. And I'm happy, man. I'm happy that, you know, with Texas and other states that are creating new teams, that's going to create movement. So although I do agree, you know, it can appear like drama, and I know that there are issues with things like in Texas, a lot of movement and all. But, you know, you create teams, you start to get people in, they start jockeying for positions, you have options. Those things happen. I'm happy that we're able to, I'm very happy that we're able to inject more teams into the circuit. I know there's at least 2 or 3 more that are going to be showing up because we're getting that word out. And from what I understand, the word gets out with this podcast. So I think it's a great thing that we're doing, and I'm happy to be able to make it happen like we are. I know that the next thing, because I know we're pushing 57 minutes, and we still got a couple of subject matters to go with the DEA Combo Kickoff. I will say that I do want to make this one thing that I got wind of, but it was late, so we weren't able to put anything together. But I want to give a quick condolences and ultimately let them know that we're thinking of them. A connection team. Mike Bobbitt lost his father on Monday, and his father was a Fremont Police Department captain, Freddie Bobbitt Jr., and I hope I'm pronouncing it right. You know, it was an unexpected passing, and ultimately, you know, if you guys wouldn't mind just taking a second to either think of them and wish them well, or to just say some prayers for them. So sorry for your father's passing, Mike, and ultimately, you know, we lost a brother. So we're going to go on to this next video, Joe. This one is with Jimmy Gomez, man. Just go with the DEA Combo Kickoff. Check this out. Pretty cool.
Jimmy, man, thanks so much for joining us again. I truly appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I always enjoy, you know, speaking to you. So anyway, happy to interview you again. We're here today to talk about the DEA Combo Kickoff tournament. So Jimmy, I'm going to let you tell us, what are the dates for this tournament?
We're going to roll on March 5th and 6th, Saturday, Sunday. So just a few weeks away in Palm Springs. BLD, Cat City is the location. Been there for a little bit now, maybe 4 or 5 years now. Previously ran them in Chino Hills, West Covina, Riverside, BLDs. So we've been with BLDs for a long, long time.
One thing I love about the BLD fields is the opportunity to play knowing there's a very, very good chance you're not going to get rained out.
So since we go so early in the year, and this being really the first one in the year, we found that being in West Covina, Riverside, or Chino Hills, that we were always battling the rain. We found this opportunity out in Palm Springs, and it rarely gets the same weather that's, you know, a little over an hour away gets. So that was our thought. To move things to Palm Springs will be better off with the weather. It's a much better venue for the fact that we don't really have to worry about the rain. It's gonna be probably gonna be cold,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we
Well,
don't have to worry about the wet and cold.
it's freaking beautiful there. I've seen pictures. I've never
Yeah.
been there, but we showed some pictures just a minute ago, and it looks beautiful. Now I do understand that Palm Spring also has some history in the circuit, right?
Yes, if you go way back before, the World Series and all that, if you were playing softball on the West Coast, that's where you went. And there were 3 big tournaments a year there, and run by 3 different agencies or teams. So I think that when JB and Dell first introduced this whole thing about the World Series, that's why they went to Palm Springs, was because that was like the place. You have a resort area, families could come. You got great shopping for the wives and nice restaurants, all high-end stuff. It's a great just vacation destination.
When it comes to everything you talked about, the shopping, the eating, there's also golf there. I know there are some dudes that are like, dude, we got to get some golf in or something, And so what would be something that maybe you've played before?
There's a couple golf courses right around the park that are really close. Can't even tell you how many golf courses there are, but there's a lot. Recently, I golfed one that I'd never golfed before, which I really, really liked, Silver Rock. Very challenging. Course was in great shape. They're actually trying to rebuild a resort around it. And we just happened to stumble on it and just absolutely, enjoyed the course.
It looks beautiful. I looked it up, and I think, we showed some pictures of it, but man, that looks really nice. Challenging?
Yeah, it was.
What was your score, Jimmy? What was your score?
You know what? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Um,
Or you don't want to remember?
No, I don't think I shot. I don't think I shot that bad.
Are you a classic dresser, or are you an out there dresser when you golf?
No, I'm just pretty standard.
Yeah.
I don't get crazy.
And what is an average score for you?
80, sometimes 70s, probably highs are going to be like 85, I guess.
That's pretty cool,
Somewhere
man.
in there, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. So, hey, any
Yeah.
golfers that are out there in the circuit, you want to go out and see if Jimmy's telling me the truth or if he's lying by about 5 or 10 strokes, I wouldn't mind you letting me know. But Jimmy looks like he's
Okay.
very talented, and I'm sure he is probably even better than what he's saying. How long has this tournament been around?
This is our 29th year.
God, Jesus, man. What are those purposes why you raise these funds for the team during this tournament?
Well, it's kind of twofold, I guess, is that one, obviously it provides for the team and allows us to get in other tournaments, which in turn allows us to keep the sport alive. If we host a tournament, continue to host a tournament, then the sport's still alive. And then that'll get somebody else to host a tournament. And if we can go support them, then they're keeping it alive. It keeps it going, and it helps us, to be able to go and keep it going.
Yeah. And that's such a difficult thing, man, is to try to find the funds now, and putting something on. It just shows the effort to say, hey, man, we're willing to put the effort towards the fields, the scheduling, everything that goes into it. And all we want to do is turn around and play ball and have the choice of playing within the circuit to keep it alive, to keep the sport alive. So I hear that. We can't do it, though, without the help of some sponsors. And so I know that a couple of y'all sponsor some great cats, but I'm going to let you go ahead and thank a few of those guys.
First and foremost, Brett Helmer. I mean, he supplies the bats for us. Can't even remember how long, he's been helping us.
Cool.
I think since he probably got that position over there.
Awesome.
He's been helping us with bats and whatnot. And then, of course, you got, Los over at Elite that brings his trailer out every year, has supplies, prize packages, which Brett has also done in the past, and just gives us everything they can give us to keep this thing rolling.
The two things that stick out is that both of those sponsors have a very big foothold in the civilian softball world. And it's very easy to say, you know what, I don't know about that police circuit. Maybe, our bread and butter is over here, if you will, when it comes to volume sales and things of that sort. But it just shows the support that we have, with sponsors like that. Brett comes out, gives his personal time at the World Series. And then you got Los and Ryan and the whole crew over there that they come out to our tournament, and that's the furthest that they go away from California. And when they brought that up, it was such a huge compliment that they were willing to put that kind of effort into driving all the way out to Waxahachie for our Keepers of the Peace tournament. So I just love the support, and it's really cool that you got those people back in your team.
I can't thank them enough for all they've done, not just for my team, but for what they've done for the circuit. It's immeasurable.
Yeah, man. Well, that's cool. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm happy to be able to highlight the DEA Combo Kickoff Tournament, March 5th and 6th, and this is at the BLD in Cat City. I think you said Cathedral City.
Yeah, Cathedral City. Yes, right next door to Palm Springs.
Cool, man. Well, hey, I'm excited. I wish you guys the best. I'm excited to be able to do a review on the tournament, man. Maybe you can get some pictures, a few things. That way we can add it to the show and get some more people to show up. I know I want to go.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Jimmy, thanks for joining us again, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I want to play in that tournament, and I want to golf at that golf course. Pretty cool.
We've played in it a few years. It's a good time. It's always, out there on the West Coast, they got a ton of great teams, so it's always good competition, and Jimmy puts on a good show out there.
Yeah. Well, the show I'm looking forward to is you teeing off. I wish we had that. Do we? I don't know if we have that video. We might have deleted it, Joe. We might have gotten rid of that one. So I don't know.
I think I slipped a disc right there.
Well, hopefully we have it at some point. I don't know. I like this. Look at Carlos Igalde, unranked in major, ranked number 1 in your hearts. I like that, Carlo. He's cracking me up also. Hey, so that was awesome, Jimmy. Thanks for joining us, man. And I can't wait to make it out there. I want to put them on the schedule for this upcoming year. Next, we've got the player spotlight, but first, Miami 5-0 in the house. Joe took the lead on this one, and I was really happy about it. So we got Red Garcia and Joe next. So let's roll it, Joe.
First, I'd like to thank Red for coming on with us, joining the podcast. I'd like to introduce him, Anthony Red Garcia, number 18. He is the coach of the Miami 5-0 police softball team. He's been in the circuit for 7 years. He's played with Metro Enforcers as well as the Miami 5-0. He has 9 years of service on with the Miami-Dade PD. Born and raised in Miami, a big Dolphins fan. He's married to Natalie. He's got 2 children, Stella and Zoe. Red, I appreciate you taking the time and joining us here to talk about yourself and the team.
No, man. Thank you for having me, Joe.
Before we get into your team, I'd like to talk about you first before we get into that. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got involved with the police softball circuit initially, maybe your first impressions, things like that.
About 7 years ago, one of my good friends, we knew each other from the academy. He called me and goes, "Hey, I know you play ball in high school. I'm on this county team. We're looking for guys. Are you interested?" At first, I was a little hesitant because I hadn't played since high school to get back into it and all that stuff. But I showed up to that tournament and I instantly fell in love with the whole idea of police softball. I played with the Enforcers for 2 years. Me and some of the guys decided that we wanted to take things a different direction than where that team was going. And from one tournament in West Palm Beach, drive down to Miami, we had a group chat, new team logo, new team uniform colors, and 5-0 was born.
And when was that?
2018.
Your first tournament, you said that you experienced in the police circuit. That was in West Palm Beach, or where was that?
That was in West Palm by I think it was hosted by South Florida.
You got a baseball background. You played some ball in high school.
Yeah, I played high school ball at St. Brendan, which is a local private school here in Miami.
I played against you guys a little bit last year in Tampa and then also in Myrtle. Are you still planning on taking the mound this year, or what's your plans as far as your role with the team this year?
Yeah, I'm the pitcher. I'm on the mound. At first, it was like a necessity. Like we needed somebody to do it. So I jumped in, but now it's become like an addiction. I love pitching. I love being on the mound. I love it when people hit the ball at me because that means they're not hitting it 400 feet. And like what every pitcher will tell you, man, you got to love being up there because it's nuts. 45 feet from some of these guys is not not very far.
I feel you, my man. I kind of was in the same boat where it was necessity, where we lost both of our pitchers, and it was basically me and another guy, KD, and we kind of split the time at that point. But I've grown to like pitching as well.
Yeah.
We just picked up another pitcher this year, so I won't be pitching probably as much. He's pretty solid. Getting into your team, I remember talking with you, and I believe, if my memory's right, you said that you were the most veteran, or were at the time the most veteran police officer on the team. You had the most
Yep.
years on. I don't know if that's still accurate or not.
Me and Eddie, we're the most senior guys with about 10 years on now, 9 to 10 years on. But besides that, it's a drop off. There's a few guys with 8 years and stuff like that. But after that, man, it's 2 years, a year, 3 years. I think we actually got younger since the last time we played.
I just remember, like I said, playing you guys, and I saw a lot of good things from your team, with tons of youth, tons of speed, tons of athleticism. I think the first couple of years you have that youth. I think you're trying to work things out and get everyone on the same page. But once everything comes together, man, I think you guys are going to see some great things here in the next couple of years as far as Miami 5-0 and your guys' success on the field. A couple things I wanted to get into involving your team. A lot of people, either switching teams or additions, new pickups or whatever. Just tons of movement this past off season.
Right, we had some too.
Okay, and that's what I wanted to get into it with you. So I don't know if you can talk about any of your moves or additions or what you had going on this off season leading into this upcoming season.
Right. Well, you said we played last time in Tampa last year, and from that team to this team, we've added 5 new guys. We just actually picked up a former college player who was playing college a year and a half ago, and now he's going to be with us. We have more infield depth than before. We have, I'd argue, one of the best outfields in police softball, and I'm willing to take that against any team. We have Eric. He's with us full time. We're looking solid this year. We're excited just to get going now this week in Tampa and show everybody what we know 5-0 could be.
And as far as those 5 guys that you picked up, are they all 5 starters going into this year? What's that looking like?
Right now, I believe I have 17 guys on the roster. I'm actually missing 2 this weekend. 3 of the guys are starters. Everybody else is depth at positions and stuff. But due to the 2 guys missing, now we have, I guess, 5 starters. It's the first time we've had a bench. It's the first time we've had, if our center fielder goes down, it's not the end of the world. Now we have, plug and play.
That's something similar to our team. We had an issue last year where we could only get 10, 11 guys for every tournament, it seemed like.
Right.
The World Series, our last game, we ended it with 9 guys. It was a tough year, and I think you guys may have had some issues as well,
right,
with guys in Vegas and stuff like that. But this
right,
year we have a huge roster, and we do have depth, and I think depth is a good thing. There's always going to be injuries. There's always going to be people, the tournaments where you go real deep. You play 8, 9, 10 games, and you need that depth, especially, I know you said you got a great outfield. I'm sure you're talking about the speed and defensive abilities of those guys, but you play 8, 9, 10 games in a weekend, that'll wear on you. It'd be good to get them a rest.
Right. Like in Vegas, a lot of questions and comments on the boards, I guess you could say, came up about our Vegas team. Basically, we had, out of that, like I said, 17 guys, I was missing 7 starters, and I was missing my entire bench. So it wasn't like I had any of my guys. We had 3 guys or 4 guys that were originally 5-0 guys going to Vegas. And that's because we're junior. My guys can't get days off as other people. Not all of us have weekends off. A lot of guys have to put in for time. And I'm sure other teams face that too. For Vegas, a lot of things were said about 5-0, and maybe there's an eligibility concern, but it wasn't anything like that. It was just my guys can't get time off.
No, I totally feel you on that. And it sounds like, based on the things you just said, that, you're not going to have that issue this year.
No, we're looking good.
Yeah, with the size roster that you have and everything like that. Even
right,
if you are missing 1 or 2 guys, California has probably the most teams in the circuit, I'd say, per state. I would say Florida's probably second. I was just looking at the number of teams from Florida in our circuit, and it looks like I counted 8 of them at
right,
least. So you're talking about North Florida, Miami Metro, South Florida, Center Mass, Gulf Coast Enforcers, which is that new team with Register, and then Metro Dade, and then the Fed Guardians team. and of course you guys. Is there any in-state like rivalry between you and between your guys and any of these other teams?
I wouldn't say a rivalry, but at work and stuff, we do run into a lot of the dogs, and there's some friendly. We're all friends though. Like we all hang out and stuff. It's not crazy. The South Florida Lawmen, those guys are like our not sister team, but me and Brandon. I call Brandon for everything. Every time I have a problem, I'm like, Brandon, help me. What would you do? What would you do? And he's been awesome. And we play a tournament with them. We linked up just to make one team for a local tournament not too long ago. But besides that, I don't think Center Mass likes us that much. But besides them, there's no rivalries, man. It's all fun.
Everything's fun, but it's always good to have good competition.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
So we took Center Mass's shortstop, I think, last off season. So I don't know how much they like us for that, but
well, it is what it is, man. That's kind of the name of the game. It seems like the last several years where kind of guys just move around and jump teams and stuff like that. It's just part of the game.
South Florida, if we were to make one team, I mean, there wouldn't be enough positions, but man, South Florida, it's filthy down here. I mean, there's softball tournaments every weekend. There's softball tournaments, 4 or 5 tournaments a weekend. There's so much talent down here, but we're divided amongst 3 teams. And then if you include all of South Florida, the Lawmen, Center Mass. But if there was ever an all-star game, I'd put my money on Florida.
You think that you guys could put a team together to knock LAPD off their throne, or what?
If it was one Florida team, I'd feel confident, man. I mean, they beat the living shit out of us in Vegas, but they're solid. They're awesome. They're good dudes. They talked to us after the game. Their pitcher talked to me, gave me some tips, in between games and stuff. But I don't know, man. There's something about Florida and baseball that just goes with it.
So there's 2 big tournaments coming up, and you're on the list for both of them. You got any predictions?
The only team I worry about is us, man. I think we're going to be on top. I know it sounds crazy, but if you don't go into a tournament with that attitude, why even go?
That's a good answer.
I have trust in my guys. I have faith in my guys, man, and I'll never cheer for another team that's not us.
You guys bust your ass every play out there. I mean, you guys are hustling, man. That's one thing I noticed about your team last year. You were in it till the end, every game. And even if you were down a little bit, you still were out there. You guys were hustling and everything. I mean, you got a lot of good young talent on that team. Those 2 tournaments, man, I mean, that's a hell of a way to start off a season.
It sets the tone early, man. You go to any Florida tournament and you compete, you're looking good the rest of the year. We're going to go to Myrtle this year again. Hopefully add one more tournament somewhere there in the summer and then get ready for Vegas.
The St. Louis tournament, that's, that's at the end of the summer there in August. And the Cardinals are playing the Yankees. You guys come out a day early, go to the game and everything like that.
That sounds good.
Little plug for the St. Louis Show Me Classic there.
We were trying to go last year.
You brought up Eric's name a couple times. Trini's doing a player spotlight on him. Is there anything that you got to say specifically about Eric leading into this player spotlight?
Eric is most likely one of the purest hitters, just all around power, average, best hitters in police softball. He's just not known around the circuit yet because, he didn't go to Vegas. Last year was his first year playing. The guys that have seen him have always come up to us and said, hey, who's that guy? Like, where'd you guys get that guy? Eric is one of the best hitters in police softball. I'm willing to put him against anybody. Like a lot of my guys, we're just not known. We're young. Nobody really knows us around. I think Eric's one of those names that's going to be circulating for a long time. People are going to have to start, knowing the name when he comes up to bat.
One of my first impressions of him, which I'm sure you remember that game when we played you guys in Myrtle last year, and we had the sun in the outfield coming straight in. No one could see the ball. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yeah.
Eric, I think, went 4 for 4 with 4 home runs against me that game.
Sounds right.
He hit the crap out of the ball, and the sun didn't bother him. And he's got a good glove too.
He's our shortstop, 5-man, second baseman, first base, basically wherever we need him, he could play. Like I said, man, when it comes to hitting, you got to give it to the guy. He's the hitter. Maybe not a straight up home run derby, but if you include average and home runs and just productivity, he's the guy in the circuit.
Red, I appreciate you coming on and joining us and sharing with us a little bit about your team and where you see your team going in 2022. Good luck this weekend in Tampa. Hope your prediction comes true. You guys come out on top. That'd be one hell of a tournament to come out on top.
That's the tone. Go for the top or don't go.
First and foremost, Joe, I see you jockeying to take my position as lead interviewer when it comes to our show. So, I don't know.
Listen, man, Maybe you can start talking about that when you include me in some of these interviews with Jimmy and Eric and stuff like that. When you leave me out of half the interviews,
Whoa.
then
Take it easy. Let's just ease into this, Joe. I was trying to help you out, but let's just take a step back, take a deep breath. It's only been
get
one
ready to book a
interview,
flight
man.
to Arizona.
I mean, hey, I'll tell you what. I already like these Miami 5-0. I mean, I've always liked them, and I always go over and say hi to them, But man, I like their comments, and they make it fun, and they just seem like an interesting group of dudes, and it seems like they would have a really good time, at some tournaments. And second thing is I like the plug for St. Louis, man. That was good. I like that one for the Show Me
Had to get that in there, man. They're
Classic.
looking for another tournament. What am I supposed to say?
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. But that was good. But hey, man, on that note, let's head into the player spotlight. Red, thank you very much for making the time to join us, man. All of this was over the weekend. We're pre-recording these things, and these guys are taking their time out of their weekend to join us to make it easier on us when we go live like this. So I appreciate all you guys that were on before. Hey, man, let's get to the player spotlight with Eric.
All right, so we're here with Miami 5-0's Eric Rodriguez. What's going on, Eric?
Nice to meet you, man.
I'm really excited to have you here, man. You're a joy to talk to, man. You're all about like, hey, man, let's do this. I could see you being one of the guys that's the life of the party when you hang out with the dudes and all. So, man, just really happy to hang out with you. So thank you for being here today.
No, thank you. I appreciate it a lot, man. It was a pleasure meeting you. I met you back in Houston, I think a year and a half ago, and it was a pleasure meeting you and talking to you. You're a really stand-up guy and a good guy. So and thank you for having me on this podcast. So
I do appreciate that. I heard that you're a utility player, but usually you end up playing around shortstop or fifth man. I would imagine it comes with some baseball experience. College ball, correct?
Yeah, I played up in the Northeast in Connecticut, a small Division II school.
That's cool, man. So something that I think is extremely cool and something very unique that I've never heard of before took place in your senior year. So tell us about it.
Oh, wow, man. It brings back memories. It's one of the coolest things I've ever done in baseball. One of the greatest moments ever. Me and my coach were really close with each other, and I was able to play all 9 positions in one game. So we would always talk about Buster Posey, if all you guys know about him, that he did that in his college at FSU. And it was just me and my coach were really close, and he was able to do that for me. And it was really exciting, man.
Dude, that is crazy. Do you remember by chance the position you started with and the position you ended?
So the way we did it was, I think I started in left field and I went all the way around. So I started left, center, right, and then I went from first, second, short, third. I caught and I pitched the last inning.
Oh, Marty, man. So did everybody in the stands know you were doing this, or was it kind of just a team thing?
The team knew, but then people started picking it up, and they're like, "Damn, this kid's playing all the positions now. What's going on here?"
That is crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's neat. It kind of reminds me of, whether it be the trainer on a football team or something like that gets the opportunity to do something very unique that nobody expected. And I just think it's really neat to be able to have something like that happen and to have the team, the coach and the team who are on board with doing it. So that's pretty cool, man. Obviously, you're in the police circuit now with Miami 5-0. You played some civilian ball, correct?
I currently play with I think we're the C division, and it's from a team down in Miami, a bunch of friends that we've been playing since we were younger, and we kind of put a good team together, and we keep playing when we can, when there's no police softball. So,
hence your name. When you say you're a pretty good team, you tell the other teams a little message. You give them a little message with your team name called.
Our team name is nothing personal, so you can't take anything personal when you play against us. So
that's funny, man. That's pretty cool, man. That's cool. Well, and do you guys travel all over the nation? You kind of stay local?
Yeah, we kind of travel right now with the local tournaments. They don't allow us to play because of the way the division is set up. So we kind of usually go as far north as like Orlando, Florida, maybe Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Georgia is the farthest we've been. So
yeah.
Softball gets expensive. So
yeah,
it's a hard thing to do.
I remember we talked earlier about our interaction in person. So you were at the Keepers of the Peace National Softball Championships in Waxahachie, Texas, and you participated in our home run derby contest.
Yeah.
So we're about to show just a quick little video on it. And I heard there was an inside secret about pork and beans. So let's see how this turned out.
Let's see that.
The prophets and the praises told you, but you
Nice.
Must be the pork and beans you ate 2 hours ago.
So tell us about the pork and beans. What was that?
Pork and beans I ate the day before.
That's what he was talking about.
So that's what he was talking about. So that's what I think he was talking about. I had a lot of food. Texas had the great food, man. It was a good tournament, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think myself, it's a great tournament. In fact, on that note, we've got we're going to put our tournament dates up, our time, and our location right now. So you got to check that out. We got some teams that are signed up already. We got a lot of teams expressing interest. So I think it's a great tournament. The fields are great. The location, what we put on, I'm pretty proud of it. I'm excited that you came down, and I hope everybody considers it on this year's schedule. Tell me about where you were born and where you live.
Well, I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. Went to high school here. Like we spoke about earlier, I ended up getting a scholarship to go play in Connecticut.
That's cool, man. I understand you're not married, but you do have some significant others in your life. So who you got in your life?
I got my girlfriend that I've been dating for 3 years. Next door, I got my sister and her husband and my 2 nephews.
All right. Yeah.
I'm kind of a big fan. I'm a big family guy. So
yeah, very cool. They're younger, right? Your nephews?
Yeah. They're babies. They're about a year and 6 months. They're pretty cute little boys, man. Hopefully they take the law enforcement route. That's what I want them to do.
Well, speaking of that, I know that, before you were in law enforcement, you had some different jobs, man. So what kind of things did you do before you became a police officer?
So my senior year, while I was playing baseball, and like the fall of baseball, I was an Uber driver.
All right.
That was a pretty cool experience. You got to meet a lot of people, talk about different things. I was a young college kid driving people around. I was one of the only Uber drivers in Waterbury, Connecticut at the time. When the app started up. So I was killing it for some reason.
Yeah.
And it was a good job, man. I met a lot of people.
I'll tell you what, we were just recently in Vegas, and I'll tell you, man, Uber drivers can really make the difference between a great time, an okay time, and then a horrible time, man. And when we've gone up there and we've, maybe celebrating birthdays, we've already kind of been out and about a little while, man, you'll get some of these dudes that are like, if they get the vibe of what's going on, they'll put on a certain song, or they'll ask you, hey, what song do you want to hear? I had one Uber driver that had like he turned these lights on and they reflected off that little crystal ball in the middle. And then he turned on the speakers and turned up the music, man. It was just a great time, man.
I hope you gave him 5 stars though.
Oh, I do.
You got to give him 5
always
stars.
Do it.
You got to give him the 5 stars. Because I would tell people, I'm like, hey, if you had a great experience, give me the 5 stars.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, man, the ratings and the tips. Because what I found out was these dudes don't get tipped very much, and they don't get tipped very often.
And at the time I did that, there was no tips. So
oh wow,
I was wait. It's a hard job, dude. Some people do it, and it's hard. It's hard work, man.
Yeah. Well, that's a cool thing, man. What other jobs did you have?
So once I finished college and I was done with my career in baseball, I was able to come back here and I started applying to police jobs. And while I was applying, I did a little substituting, and it was just a good experience. I got to hang out with the kids. My favorite subject to teach was PE at the end of the day, because all I would do was play basketball with all the kids.
Oh yeah,
we'd play games the whole day. But I enjoyed, man, mentoring the kids and showing them the right things to do and stuff. And it was a good experience, man, for me.
I give all teachers credit, man. People ask me, how could you do your job as a policeman? I'm like, dude, it's not hard for me. I give teachers credit. All right, so any other jobs before you became a police officer?
Nah, man. After that, I got hired right away, man. I got hired with Coral Gables Police Department.
All right. So going into that, how long have you been in law enforcement?
I've been in law enforcement about 5 years.
All right.
I started my career off with the city of Coral Gables. It's a small municipality in Miami. I was in the patrol division, and then while a couple of years in, I got my dive certification.
Yeah,
so I was a part-time underwater search and recovery diver.
Wow, man, that's really unique. So give us a little rundown on the dive team. Give me some of the responsibilities.
We search for stolen vehicles or artifacts. People throw guns in the water. We do a little search grid patterns, and we look for cars that were dumped in the canals and stuff, and we hook them up to a tow truck, and they pull them out of the water. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool job. And then we'll do our recovery for bodies if they go missing in the ocean. So,
oh man. So what's a unique story when it comes to a dive team?
We got to do a couple of call outs. Nothing really crazy. It's a small agency. So the coolest thing I got to do was take out there were some stolen vehicles that were dumped in the canal. We got to jump in the canal and hook them up and take them out. It's a cool experience because you're diving in water. You can't even see your hand in front of your face. You know what I mean? You don't know what's in there. So, but I always enjoyed stuff like that. So
yeah. Yeah.
It was a good experience. So
How about a story that somebody maybe shared with you? You know, like, hey, look, this is something we experienced, and it could be something that ends up happening.
there was a car. It was a ferry, so you put your car on the ferry, and the ferry was taken off to an island in Miami, and I guess it didn't secure it right. So there was two ladies in the car that reversed. The car fell off the ferry into like the middle of the canal, where the ships come in and out, and it's a sad thing to know two people passed away, but
Oh yeah.
there was the dive trainers went out and they recovered the car and the bodies, and it's a sad story, but it's amazing what type of jobs the dive recoveries people do.
Without them, you know, these families maybe don't have closure. You know, maybe the bodies stay there longer, and ultimately, you know, it's worse when it comes to identifying or whatever. So, yeah, man, that's an interesting position, and ultimately, that's pretty badass. I mean, I was on SWAT before, and I compare it to those kind of specialized units where it's like you get to do something very different, and it makes law enforcement unique. There's so many different things you can do on a police department. It's really not hard in a 20 or 30-year career to just keep it fresh with all the different units and areas that you can work within a department.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool career.
You can do something different every day.
So much like the guest on our show that we've had previously, I mean, you have some other hobbies off the field. I know you like to hunt. I know you like to fish. And unlike most guests, you snowboard and you ski. So I mean, with hunting and fishing, like what's the thing you've caught that was memorable, or the thing that you hunted that was pretty memorable?
My favorite thing in fishing is what I enjoy doing is going with my pops. We go it's called mini season, lobster mini season. We go out there for 2 days, and we'll take as many people as possible to go on the boat so we can go lobstering. Yeah. And we do pretty good every mini season. We go with a tickle stick. It's like a little stick and a net. And we go to our spots, and we get about like probably 50 lobsters a season, and we do pretty good for the lobsters. I don't know if you've had one; they're delicious.
So this tickling stick, I mean, we're gonna show a quick video for those that don't know, to include myself. So that's neat. Joe, of course, my partner, he ended up telling me, like, you guys, I guess, share a vacation spot, and that's where he did, because he was big time into all of that.
Yeah, it was a small world. We just started talking one day, me and Joe, and he says, "Oh yeah, man, I'm down in the Keys too. We got to meet up and we can connect and I'll take you out fishing and stuff on the boat and stuff, and we'll go to the sandbar and have a good time."
Oh, you're gonna have a really good time with Joe.
No, yeah.
That's gonna be a great time. You have a unique interest, and I think it's a really cool hobby. You share that hobby with one of my influencers that I like to listen to, Gary Vaynerchuk, and Gary V has gotten big time into this hobby. It's something that he enjoys doing. Tell us about this hobby.
I was born in '93, so my dad bought a bunch of cards for me and a bunch of comic books, and he stacked them in the shelves for us to. And he's like, "Hey, when you're older, you can start opening up the boxes." Well, about 5 years ago, I got into it a little, and I started opening up the boxes. I'm like, "Damn, this is pretty cool, man!" All my favorite players that I used to look up to, and I was like, "Damn, I really like this. I want to start creating. I want to try to get every team of every year." And so that's a little goal of mine that I've been doing. And now the card game's a little different because it's skyrocketed. Although you can't buy a box of cards anymore. It's like $250 for a set of 3 cards. So it's getting a little expensive hobby of mine. I have some pretty cool cards that I like. I have a couple of rookie Derek Jeter cards. My favorite card, because he's my favorite player of all time, is Nomar Garciaparra. I always loved him. I always loved him as a kid, man.
Wow.
And I have his rookie card, and my goal is to try to get an autograph by him. Hopefully, I can see him one of these days. Find him on the street somewhere and get an autograph signed by him.
Dude, how cool would that be, man?
Yeah,
That's
it would be.
And so, what do you need if you get the opportunity? Is it a picture to show kind of the authenticity? Is it like matching how do you go about something like that where you get something signed? Like how can you make sure that it's legit for people who are interested?
You just have to get a certificate, basically saying that it was a valid signature and it's his signature.
Wow.
But a picture would always work. That's the best, I guess. Take a picture with him signing it, and that's proof right there. You know what I mean?
What would you say is your most valuable card, like monetary wise?
Man, I probably got one about $150.
Oh yeah.
I'm not that big like some people are. Like some of my friends have a $10,000 card. I'm like, I started with the era where the cards they were handing, they made so many replicas, and they made so many of the cards, and mine are not valued that much, but I think the most one I have is probably $150. It's a signed Magic Johnson card.
All right.
Basketball card. I got it signed on a basketball too. I met him one time.
All
He's a really
right.
nice guy. So
All right. Very
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
The true value in that is when your pops was collecting these cards and knew all that time ago, I'm gonna give this to my boy. This is gonna be really special one day. And I've done that with a few things, and that's because my mom always did that. She had a room of treasures, and she kept things for us, whether it was arts and crafts that we created in elementary school, or a coin when she was overseas and she brought it back. I always appreciated it as a kid, but as a parent, it's like really cool to think about how you did all that time ago, and finally the day comes where it's like, all right, here you go. And I think that's really neat, man.
Yeah, nothing like your dad, man. Like, he went to all my baseball games in college. Imagine that, man. I'm blessed to have my dad in my life.
Kudos to whoever had anything to do with your upbringing, because I think you're a great, I say kid, I know now that you're a little older, but hey, it's not a bad thing. I appreciate who you are. You know, I appreciate your personality. And in the end, I think it'd be pretty cool for some of these guys within the circuit to like find out that you have this hobby. And you never know, man. Somebody might come up to you and be like, hey, dude, check this out. Or, you know, maybe connect with you some way, somehow,
for sure.
to be able to, you know, kind of talk about it. Because I think that's a neat interest. Anything you want to share with us before we sign off?
Yeah, one thing I want to give a shout out to my buddy he's an officer up in Connecticut. We went to college together. He plays for, I think, the Connecticut Lawmen.
Yeah.
He's
Tommy Eldridge up there.
Luke, I hope you're doing good, baby.
All right.
That's why I love this softball. You get to meet old friends and reconnect on old relationships that we had, man. I appreciate everything you do for this softball community, Trini. You do a great job, man. I'm blessed to have people like you in the game. So
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. Hey, man, great player, part of the Miami 5-0. Want to thank you for joining us again, Eric, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Take care.
All right, brother.
Cool kid, man. I say
Good
kid,
people,
but
good people.
Oh, man, I like that Miami 5-0 team, and ultimately had a really good time talking to him. In person, I had a great time talking to him, and something bothered me, though, with that interview. And I didn't notice it in the beginning, and now it came, you know, it became clear. Did you see that video, Joe? I think you were kind of looking down. I think you were taking some notes or something. But did you see that tickle stick he was talking about with the lobster? Did you see the video? That's not the tickle stick you used on me. You told me this is a tickle stick, and that's not the same tickle stick. And so we need to get off air and talk about that in a minute, because I didn't realize that it wasn't the same kind of tickle stick.
Where's Audrey at? She needs to take your alcoholic beverages away. You had enough. You cut off.
Dude, I told you.
I know she's there somewhere. I've seen her walking around in the background.
Dude, I'm drinking some water. I told you that. I didn't appreciate the whole tickle stick thing. We're going to have to talk about that. But hey, man, that was really cool. You did a great job with Red, of course, and then ultimately, being able to interview Eric like that. It was great to highlight that team. And like I said, man, for you guys that are out there and you're paying attention, if you have a player that you want to spotlight, it doesn't have to be a new player. We started off with new players, a couple of years on. We just talked about, whether it be a seasoned player, maybe a player that's about to retire. It'd be cool to be able to highlight a team and ultimately a player spotlight. So if you've got any people that you want to highlight for whatever reason, man, make sure you get a hold of me or Joe. Send us a message, and it would be awesome to be able to highlight your team. That's what we want to do: highlight the team, and then the player spotlight right afterwards. And I do want to give a quick shout out to Thomas and the Connecticut Lawmen. You heard Eric and talk about them, but those guys have got some cool stuff going on up there. They're going to be they picked up 4 big-time players, and an all-world pitcher, they said, from a World Series is back. So it's going to be interesting to find out what they got going on up there. They have a player that they want to spotlight. So that'll be a cool thing to be able to do. Let's see. Look, Joe, Eddie Castro says, Trini, we will bring you those tickle sticks in Vegas, brother. No, but
just
hey,
what
man,
Trini wants.
Yeah, well, I don't mind a good laugh. We'll talk about it later. But no, man, I think it was a great show. I really appreciate you again. Hey, guys, do one quick thing for me. Please go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. That really helps me out a lot. I know some of you tune in on Facebook. Man, if you go to YouTube, hit Trini Trinidad, go to that subscribe button, and then ultimately hit that notification bell there on the right, that top notification bell. You're going to be notified whenever we go live with the Police Softball Podcast. And it just really helps me a lot. If I can get to 1,000 subscribers, which I think I'm at 902, Deanna, maybe 903, something like that. Then I just need, I don't remember, like 4,000 watch hours or something like that. And then I can do some really special things. So I really would appreciate your support. If you guys would do that for me, and tune in on YouTube. Comment on YouTube makes a big difference. Algorithm picks that up, and I appreciate it. Joe, any final comments on today's show?
No, it was a good one, man. I hope we top it next week, or I guess we're going to do it in 2 weeks. And I'm sure have some good guests and player spotlights and everything else. I like the new format, and I got a lot of good feedback on it as well. I know you talked about that earlier, and I think it's working out really well this year.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to Deanna. Thank you so much for all the editing. I do appreciate that. It's a challenge to edit like we do, but it really gives a feel of like a true entertaining broadcast. And that's what we try to do. So one quick thing that I'll mention: on the road, Joe's at work, I'm on the road at a conference. Still make the time because it's what we care about. Don't make $1 off of this. Haven't monetized it, nothing like that. It is truly for the love of the sport and the camaraderie and the fellowship that we get out of it. So thank you guys very much for your support. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Joe, hang on for a second. We'll get together. Hey, on behalf of my partner, Joe Monahan, I'm Trini Trinidad. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And don't forget, man, I got your 6.